Bosnian Serb forces appear to be complying with the UN deadline for withdrawal, as President Clinton warns of possible airstrikes if they don't. And the U.S. wins more Olympic gold in Norway. This is the CBS Evening News. And this is Bob Schieffer reporting. Good evening. The ceasefire around the besieged Bosnian capital of Sarajevo seems to be holding, but President Clinton said flatly today that if the Serbian forces arrayed around the city do not withdraw or surrender their heavy weapons by tomorrow's deadline, they will be attacked by NATO bombers. Barry Peterson is in Sarajevo tonight. Alan Pizzi is with the Serb forces in the hills above Sarajevo, and we begin with him.
Tanks and other heavy weapons that had besieged Sarajevo for 22 months abandoned their murderous vantage points today. The pace of the pullback began to match the promises of Serb leaders to meet the UN deadline. The politicians may have thought it was a good idea, but the troops weren't happy. It's no good, this tank gunner says. The Muslims still have their weapons. I don't care what the politicians do. Any heavy weapons that can threaten Sarajevo are supposed to go under UN control, including ones based in Serb villages in the mountains. The Serbs have 4 times as much long-range firepower as the Muslims, and UN officials said guns handed in so far matched that ratio. The Serb army headquarters at Lukovica is one of 8 storage places within the 12-mile heavy weapons-free zone in and around Sarajevo. The Serbs used it as a media show point that at times bordered on the farcical. Some of the guns on display here didn't appear capable of firing a shot in anger. Nevertheless, a platoon of French soldiers arrived to take control of them. The UN soldiers have also taken up positions along the front lines overlooking Sarajevo. Serb infantry are outnumbered by the Muslims, whose front lines are less than 100 yards from here. The Serbs are looking to Russian UN troops to make up for the loss of the advantage the big guns provided. Hundreds of people turned out prematurely in the Serb capital Pale to welcome them. The Russians were thrown out of former Yugoslavia nearly 50 years ago. For them to represent salvation is a sign of just how vulnerable the Serbs feel now. The UN continues to insist that its deadline must be met, and indications are that it just might be. The crisis appears to be winding down, and there is now talk of how to expand this to cover the rest of Bosnia. Alan Pizzi, CBS News, near Sarajevo.
This is Barry Peterson in Sarajevo, where the UN's thin blue line is getting tougher. These are British